Zidane Daney, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Nerd Chat here on Electro Ninja's Lab. I am here with my fellow host,
Jack. Jack.
and today we are going to be talking about, well, we're going to be talking about series that have come to a close and are sadly no longer around. And, well, you can still play them or watch them, whatever, read them, but obviously, beyond that, they're gone. Um, which is sad. Obviously, I've made Juana and the Dragon Newt Seven Kingdoms as our cover, which I'm sad about. They don't seem to be sad about. Of course, huh? Yeah, you've never read it, and Joker is just like indifferent to it. Says that it's kind of shitty, which is just sad. I personally, like I said, I really love that show, love that series, especially because it's basically another adoptive father taking care of an adoptive daughter, and obviously that's pretty much everywhere now. But this was kind of earlier on when all of this was happening. So yeah. Also, she speaks Spanish, so so if you do speak Spanish, then you can understand everything that she's saying. Otherwise, you can't. But everything else will be in whatever language that you buy the book for. So if you buy it in Japanese, it's going to be in Japanese. You buy it in English, it's going to be in English. Um, but
Weird.
yeah,
Weird how that works. Funny
yeah.
how that works.
But also, before we actually get too far into this, big announcement: we have a merch store again. Well, we already had one, but we are relaunching the merch store with a few new items. This is going to be under a new location, but we have a lot of things that we're working on to make sure that it's completely available for everyone. But as of this point in time, you can purchase anything from the merch store. We have that is currently available there. We have Nerdy Birdie mugs. We have Electro Ninja's Lab poker cards, Intrepid Books logo boots, Sting's Adventures 1 Rise of the Descendants pictures, whatever, I don't know, posters, whatever they are. It's canvas, whatever. Then we also have a mask slash winter neck guard, whatever, that has Electro Ninja's mask on the front of it, so that's fun. We also have the Intrepid Books wall clock, which does look a little bit shitty, but hey, what are you gonna do? And then we've got the a notebook with the Intrepid Books logo pattern, and then we've also got some polo shirts, and for the first time ever, the Voltage pendant necklace, which is going to be, which basically that is in the books and in the original story that was in the first Sting's or in the Electro Ninja's Lab early stages. This was basically how they summoned Voltage to help them out. This is not exactly what it looks like, but it's pretty close to what we're gonna be able to get for that. So, yeah, there will obviously be more merch, but for right now, that's what we have. I will probably do a full-fledged video specifically talking about all of the different merch as we get more and more stuff. But we'll see exactly how that plays out. But yeah, you can now buy the merch that is in the description as well as in the channel about page. So, yeah. Anyways, back to the actual topic of today's video, series that have ended. Well, specifically ended too soon. So what's something that you think has ended way too soon?
Um. Heather said Pokemon. Heather said Pokemon.
Okay. How is
know.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
okay, it's April Fool's when we're recording this. So I guess that makes sense. Oh my gosh, there's so much freaking Pokemon. Like
It's true.
yeah, there's
It's
way
true.
too much. Anyways, what the fro? I am so confused here. Anyways, so yeah, obviously there's way too much Pokemon. How about So I've told you about a few different series, and I will say that Crazy Food Truck, if it ever comes back, please rework the entire ending because I hated it. Oh my gosh, there's just a lot of things with it, and I'm not gonna spoil it because I do think that that people should absolutely read Crazy Food Truck, but at the same time, that ending I despised it. But yeah, so Crazy Food Truck. That's sad that it ended, but at the same time, thank God that it they didn't like try to continue it from that point. Barrage, obviously, which I've talked extensively about. But what was? Oh, obviously, I've been telling you guys forever to read Hunter's Guild Red Hood.
I was wondering when that was gonna come up.
Yeah, we're not gonna go too much in depth with that because I've gone over it like crazy. But I do have a video coming out on the 11th, which is going to be saying goodbye to the series because that is the official end date. But obviously, there is a way that you can read pretty much everything that is out right now. I happen to have I got the volume like a month in advance because my local used bookstore somehow had one. Keyword there being used bookstore. I have no idea how that works. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so that's that. And then there's obviously a whole bunch more, but yeah, any movies, shows, video game series, is there anything that you can specifically think of? Maybe a Netflix show or two?
I mean, One Day at a Time ended on a cliffhanger, and that was stupid.
I haven't watched that.
It's a sitcom. It's really cute, but like it ended on a cliffhanger, and I was really mad.
I get that. I 100% get that. Oh, what was it? So you know what we're all really pissed about though
is
freaking Dark Crystal.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know of a single person who is not pissed off that or who specifically people who have seen the Dark Crystal series who are not pissed off that it got canceled.
Yeah.
Like obviously not everyone has seen it, but like who ends like a series at the peak of its just it was literally at the peak, and then it's just like, okay, we're just gonna end it now. We're gonna leave it on a cliffhanger. We're not gonna tell you guys what the heck happened. And it's just done after the first season. And like, clearly the creators believed that there was gonna be more to it, but that it just never happened. I don't know.
That sucks. That sucks.
I don't know. There's so much with that, and it's just like, how? How did you end it?
You look like one of those potties.
How did you end it that fucking fast? And then yeah, there's a few other series that are like, you ended it there. Personally, I would love to see more Lock and Key, but I do think that had a good ending. I don't think it necessarily needs to have any more, but at the same time, it absolutely could. It leaves it open for the possibility, at least, that there will be more stuff to the conclusion. There could absolutely be more things with the keys and stuff like that, but we'll see. We'll see if that ever happens. I also think that that Sinbad. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's a prequel to a anime / manga called Sinbad, or called Magi, or Magi, whatever it's fucking called. But it's basically about dungeons and kicking ass and taking names, and there's lots of really good things about it. I'm not going to go into too much detail with it, but it is over, and it's just like, why is it over? It was so good. And I know that a lot of people did enjoy it, and the creator apparently has finished that series and is working on a new series called Orient. I don't know if that series is still continuing or not, but yeah, so that's a thing. But it's I just think it's sad that never really got a good conclusion. Maybe it will eventually, but we'll see for now if it's just left in the dirt. But yeah. Oh, what was there was something that was like everyone was pissed about. I don't remember what it was. I feel it was a live action thing, but I'm forgetting what it was. It was a long time ago. I have no idea. The point is, there's a lot. But anyways, have you been watching anything fun recently?
I started watching Futurama.
Oh. And what do you think?
I enjoy it.
Okay. I have no words because I've never watched an actual episode of it. But yeah, that'll be interesting. Oh my god.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm intrigued to hear what you're going to be saying about it as you get through it. Because yeah, my obviously my dad has watched it.
Yeah.
Apparently, like he really liked it. Apparently, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, what? So one other thing that I'm thinking of that is kind of sad that it's that so many of them have ended is anime. So original anime, basically series that were originally made to be an anime and were never going. They never got any further. It's actually quite common, unfortunately, that series will be it'll be made as a fully fledged anime adaptation. Anime with no story, no previous story before it, and pretty much every single one of them dies. I do not know of a single series that that doesn't end after its first season. But for example, what was it? There was something. I'm forgetting what it was right now. Shoot. Why am I forgetting? Well, obviously Zombieland Saga has continued, but that's not what I'm talking about. Appare Ranman. I love that show. That was a basically it's a racing anime with that's taking place here in America with a samurai and a Japanese inventor. They come over to America and they basically go into this wacky race type thing. And it only got one season. It's probably never going to get another season, but I loved it. It was absolutely hilarious. Just a boatload of fun. Unfortunately, it's probably never going to see the light of day ever again. And then, okay, how much Star Trek have you seen though? This is
a good amount.
Okay, have you seen Voyager?
No.
Okay.
No.
So Voyager is basically about a group of people who get sent to the other side of the galaxy, and it's supposed to take them years and years for them to get to cross the galaxy into known space, which obviously makes sense. They're as far away from their home as they possibly can be, and it takes them quite a few seasons. There's a lot of people that have some big problems with it. I have some problems with it as well. But one of the big ones is that it ended really soon. Now, imagine for a moment that that's not the only that there is an anime for that. It's called Astro Lost in Space. It has one season. It's expected for them to take years and years to cross the universe, back to their home planet. Then, near the ending, they get to back to their home planet, reveal that they're not going back to Earth. They're going to another planet called Astra. That is legitimately what their home planet is called, and it's just absolutely bizarre. They happen to come across a character who believes that they're going back home to Earth, and they then reveal that that's not actually the case. There's a lot of really weird stuff in it that I really enjoy, but at the same time, it's just like, you could have done a lot better with this. Like there's a character who is pretending to be a boy but is actually a girl. There's a lot of other characters as well that are just bizarre, and it has some decent representation. Not the best, but it's there. But it really feels like the creators had this huge overlaunching idea, and then they decide, we're gonna end it out of the blue. And they had no idea what they were doing, but they thought, okay, let's see where this goes. This will be a nice spacefaring adventure, and then they end it right at the end. It's just like, where was this going? I could have seen this going on for many more years, and instead they decide to end it. I don't know. It's weird. And then there's a lot more shows like that are just bizarrely finished really quickly. One show that I think really did it well, though, for a one season anime only, is Decadence. That is a series about basically fighting off monsters, and basically one of the main characters is an alien to a certain degree who is basically the alien race has completely created this entire world, with humans basically being NPCs to a certain degree. But the main characters, one is one of these aliens, and one is one of these so-called NPCs who was supposed to die, and they basically fight to make it actually have a happy ending, and they do. I'm not going to go much more in depth with that, but it's a really interesting story, and I think that you should absolutely watch it at some point. I don't know if you ever will, but just something to think about for the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's lots of other things as well that are just like, why did this end so freaking quickly? Obviously, Dragon Pilot, not going to go into that, but that's a fun show. Drifting Dragons, I've talked about it before. I don't know if they're ever going to make another season of the anime. Supposedly, I've looked up like information about it, and some places say that yes, there is going to be another adaptation, but there has never been an actual evidence that they've actually said that yes, they are going to be talking. There is going to be more of this, and but no. Oh, that's freaking weird. So first, another thing, I've talked while I'm thinking about this series. So, in the manga, they call one character, his name is Jiro. Supposedly, in the Japanese, they still call him Jiro. But for whatever reason, in the English dub, he's called Gerard. And there's never an explanation for this. I have never watched it in Japanese. But I do plan to watch it at some point in Japanese just to see, do they actually call him Jiro? Because that's what his name is. That is actually what his name is. My theory as to why they changed his name from Jiro to Gerard in the anime is because of My Hero Academia. Because he looks very similar to that of Jiro from My Hero Academia. And she's obviously a girl, while he's a guy. And there's obviously already enough confusion with the character being a guy in general. So I think that that's probably the reason why they changed it. It's hard to say exactly what they did, why they did it, or what exactly the reasoning was. Like I said, I'll need to look into the actual Japanese dub to see if they changed his name in that as well. But I don't know at this point in time. But yeah, like I said, I've heard some things saying that there is going to be a second season, but the painful fact is that Netflix is where anime go to die. Like, I don't know of a single I don't know of a series that started on Netflix that continued to its conclusion, except for Seven Deadly Sins. So I don't, and like I said, started on Netflix. There is quite possibly there are some, but I have no idea at this point in time. For whatever reason, just if it goes to Netflix, it dies. I think that there might be like a few series that have actually completed that are on Netflix. But the majority of those didn't start on Netflix. They started on things like Hulu or Funimation or basically whatever, and then they were transferred over to Netflix, such as Demon Slayer transferred over. Vinland Saga came over. I think that that's actually still airing. But there are a few things that are still going, but it's hard to say for sure if they're going to actually continue. Such as Uncle from Another World, that just started. I have no idea if that's going to continue, but I would love to see it continue. And there's plenty more where that came from. But like and Komi Can't Communicate, that's on Netflix. Maybe that'll be able to continue. But I have no idea beyond that. It's weird, to say the least.
Yeah.
But who knows? We'll see if things actually get to continue or whatever. But one thing that I would also like to say about series that just unfortunately end is that there is a chance that these series can come back. It's a low chance for sure, but just as an example of something that that disappeared off the face of the earth and then came back, The Devil's a Part-Timer, as well as Zombieland Saga. Both of those series were those practically fell completely off the earth for years and years, and then out of nowhere they came back. Probably because people talked about how much these series were amazing and talked like crazy about it. Snow White with the Red Hair, I would love to see it come back. Servamp, would love to see it come back. The series, those two series specifically, they're still having manga chapters and volumes are still coming out, as far as I'm aware. But they've just never gotten any more adaptation beyond, specifically for Snow White with the Red Hair. That got 2 seasons. Servamp got 1. And that was years ago. Just for an example, let me make sure of the date. Yeah, so Servamp was in 2016 that released, and Snow White with the Red Hair was 2015 / 2016 for the second season. Both of those were able to have gotten have gotten some more people falling in love with their series since then, except for Servamp. I have never seen anyone talk about how great Servamp is, but I don't know. Maybe it'll come back. And that's basically the story with pretty much every single series that has ever ended. Is that if people actually talk about it, people bring it up, say, we want to see this series get get more anime. We want to see this series get more manga. Eventually, things can come back from the dead, but it does take a while. Like I said, Zombieland Saga. Let me go ahead and just grab those dates. So, the first season was in 2018, and the second season wasn't until 2021. Which, granted, that's not a huge amount of time, but it is for an anime, especially for a anime that was an anime original. That's a really long time. And I don't know if they're gonna continue to do anything else with Zombieland Saga, because that has a decent conclusion. But it's an idol anime, so it has very low chance of coming back anyways. But there's lots of other things like that are just like, wow, that ended. Obviously, there's The Promised Neverland, which there is only one season. And we will continue to say that until somebody makes an actual season 2. But that with all the backlash against season 2, I do think that there will probably be at some point Promised Neverland will come back with a redone season 2 with the actual story completely intact, and then they will continue from there. It depends on basically what the creators decide to do, but I'm hoping against hope that series does come back eventually, but it'll probably be forever. And there's lots of other series like that. Just another example, Overlord. That had every single one of its seasons except for season 4, basically back to back. But it ended season 3 in. Let me go ahead and make sure I have the correct date for that. Overlord season 3. There it is. Okay, so Overlord season 3, that ended back in 2018. And it just had its anime adaptation, I think, in 2022. So, yeah. Even if a series it seems like it's gone, it's never going to come back, blah, 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 it can come back. It just takes time and people to actually say, hey, we want this series back. And yeah, like I said, 2022, summer 2022 is when Overlord came back. So, if you want a series to come back, you can. It just takes time. And also saying talking about how much you love the series. So, yeah. Anyways, I went on a rant there.
You did.
Oh my gosh. But, yeah. Is there, like, any, maybe we should change the topic from anime to, like, American stuff. But I don't really know of much that was really good here in America that just ended. Can you think of anything?
No. No.
I mean, I would love to see more Spiderwick Chronicles.
I kind of need to get going.
Okay.
I kind of need to get going.
This was a shorter one, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this.
It ended too soon.
It did.
It ended too soon.
That's kind of what this episode was about. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll see you guys next time. But on